What's up, guys? My name's Gamer360 Sports, welcoming all of you to this episode of Road to the Show with Oscar Bryant and the Harrisburg Senators. Oscar Bryant is trying to move through the Washington Nationals farm system and become the next great starting outfielder in the nation's capital, and maybe become the next great Hall of Famer from the National League. This episode, Oscar Bryant took a step back from episode 1. In episode 1, he had 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, and a .313 batting average with no stolen bases. This episode, he completely struggled in both the outfield and in the hitter's box because Oscar Bryant couldn't get major hits, he couldn't get home runs, he could barely produce RBIs, and he got on base with situations like this. For example, there were so many infield errors this episode, it was ridiculous. In the outfield, he also had a bunch of drop balls, chased down so many balls he could have caught if he went the right way, it was ridiculous, and got walked on base twice. But anyway, Oscar Bryant right now was hitless for the first game. He was struck out once, had an error to get on base, and a ball that only got him to second base and a loss. Now anyway, 1-2 count in the first inning. He gets the first hit of the episode in between the first baseman and the shortstop, and that'll bump up his average to about, I'd say, 305, 310. Now the base is loaded in the bottom third. He has the opportunity to get some RBIs, but he hits it right to the second baseman for the easy double play. That's a major mistake. It's a -1 bad at bat. That's how bad that at bat was. But anyway, top of the 5th, he has a chance to catch this ball in the outfield, and here comes the drop. His first major mistake in the outfield this season. He had an easy pop-out / fly-out. Unfortunately, he drops the easy catch, and that starts off a rally 10-1 other team afterwards. Oscar Bryant's biggest chance for a home run this episode died out in the warning track. That tall wall prevents so many home runs, it's crazy. Now in this game, he had a single, flew out once, had an easy ground out, and had a dirt pitch. Now in the next game, Oscar Bryant would pinch hit in the bottom of the 5th inning and has a huge opportunity to bump up his average from 300 and get hit number 16 on the season. He had a shot though. He creams this ball into right field. It looks like it has the distance for a second, but it flies out to end off the inning. Oscar Bryant struggled in this game and his only at-bat pinch hitting on his day off. Now Oscar Bryant tried to get something going in the next game as well. Man on first inning, 1 out. He's walked for the 2nd time this season. In the bottom 9th, with an 0-1 count, he gets the first hit of the inning, trying to start off a rally, but this meant nothing. Oscar Bryant, unfortunately, could not bring any runs in on that nice base hit. If there was a man on second and third, that probably would have been an RBI single, but no. He doesn't get past first base and doesn't score his 2nd run of the season. Now in the bottom 1st inning, 1 out yet again, men on first. He would cream this ball into the gap in the next game. This is a possible RBI double, indeed it will, as the man rounds third and Oscar Bryant has RBI number 10 on the season. That's what you want to see from Oscar Bryant every single time in these games. He had a chance to get some more RBIs with the bases loaded in the 2nd. But for the 2nd time this episode, he grounds out to end off the inning with the bases loaded. Not what you want to see when you could score some runs. It's still the same score and an 0-2 count in the bottom 5th. He creeps this one into the other gap to get his 2nd double of the game. That's what you want to see. Unfortunately, there's no man on this time around and doesn't score any runs. Now Oscar Bryant once again is in the field. In the top of the 11th, he has a chance to get this out and save the game. Unfortunately, it allows a run to round around third, and that would end off the game in extras. Oscar Bryant has so many mistakes. The fans start booing him on a 2-hit game with 2 doubles and 1 RBI. They still lose 8-4 because of 1 fielding mistake. Now he would pinch hit again against the Flying Phils at a .305 batting average this time with 18 hits, 3 home runs, and still 9 RBIs because the 10th RBI did not count for some reason. Now you can see though he would strike out on his only opportunity to go and get some hits in this game. Now Oscar Bryant continued to try and find his sweet spot throughout this episode. Now if you're expecting Oscar Bryant to fall back down to earth for the 2nd time this episode, you're wrong, because once again he gets on base with a single into left field, advances the runner to 2nd, then in the bottom 6 with 1 out, looking for the easy hit. he would find it as he hits it in between the pitcher's legs for another single. He would have another fielder's choice in the bottom of the 8th inning to get to third base, which brought in a few more runs in the win, 2 for 5 on the game. Now he went on the road to take on the Bowie Bay Sox, and he was all set for this series because even though he started off with a ground out in the first inning, he turned it around in the 3rd inning. Top of the 3rd inning, no outs, no count. The first pitch of the inning is creamed into the gap. Oscar Bryant would get on with a double as everyone's upset because this game was pretty tense in this series, because it was back and forth scoring throughout the entire Bowie Bay Sox series. 7-0 with men on first and second in the top of the 4th. 1 out, 0-1 count. Oscar Bryant would hit this ball into center field, and that would be a sacrifice fly for the real RBI number 10 on the season. Oscar Bryant is kind of pumped that he's in double-digit RBIs, but he needs to get more in the minors. Now it's 8-6 in the top of the 6th. He hits this ball again to center field. This will be a base hit because the center fielder just gets there in time. In this game, he would end up having a sacrifice fly and going 2 for 6 on the day with a couple pop-ups and a couple flyouts. Now top of the 1st, no count in the next game. He's back up to 3-10. He hits this ball in towards the 3rd baseman, and the 1st baseman would drop the ball for another error. That's the 2nd time this episode there has been an error by the infield. Now top of the 3rd, Oscar Bryant was struggling in this episode, actually this game I mean, as he strikes out twice in this game. Not what you want to see from your top hitter, as he's in the 3 spot in this rotation. But anyway, here is his latest stats for the past 10 games. You can tell he's hitting .235 in his past 10. That's not what you want to see from Oscar Bryant. Now top of the 1st, man on first yet again. 1-1 count. Oscar Bryant would hit this ball towards 3rd baseman, and it goes right in between the wood sticks for an easy base hit that would count as an error once again. Top of the 5th, 0-1 count, still looking for more and more base hits. He would cream this ball to right field. It would bounce off the wall, and that would be a double. Another chance to have more RBIs, but once again, no man on. I like having hits with man on with Oscar Bryant. Now you can see the error only got him to first base, and that was his only hit of the game with the double with 1 strikeout. Now in this next game, he was taking on New Britain. In the top of the 3rd, he creams this ball towards left field. Could be a home run, but it flies out to get the 1st out of the inning. And Oscar Bryant, to end off this episode, finally cooled off. Top of the 9th, 1 out, 7-5. This game is basically sealed. 0 for 4 on the day. He would hit this ball directly to the 2nd baseman, and that would not end pretty because Oscar Bryant ends hitless to end off this episode. As you can tell, he had 5 opportunities to get hits. He grounded out so many times and had 1 fielder's choice. But anyway, this one I'll wrap up this episode. All corrections will appear on your screen right now. I already know one that's in my mind right now. And also smash that like button before you leave. Thanks for watching and have a great day.